In this webinar then, we'll give you a short welcome as to who we are and what we do. And then we're going to get stuck into 8 key topics. Our topics for this webinar are going to be anchored at each stage by the gold chain link you can see on the screen now. You can also see the 8 topics that we're going to be tackling, starting with what is a collateral warranty or a third-party right? Secondly, looking at the investor's perspective. Thirdly, taking a long-term view of a collateral warranty or a third-party right as a piece of property. Fourthly, we'll look at the link between initial project setup and performance. Fifthly, we'll look at the key terms for you to look out for when considering, negotiating, drafting, or even just looking at collateral warranties and third-party rights. Sixthly, we'll look at the position under the JCT and the NEC forms of contract as your starting points. Seventhly, we'll look at what's happening in real life in the market. And then 8th, a summary of the key takeaways for you to learn from and apply into your work. So the project itself is going to create a network of business relationships. Those business relationships are held together through contracts. Contracts are typically bilateral, meaning between 2 parties. Hence, we have what we know as contract chains, including supply chains. And this is what leads to those sideways creations, remembering our visual on page 8, to create the contractual nexus for beneficiaries, which go out to the side. So it isn't the performance chain from top to bottom. So business relationships held together by contracts, usually bilateral. In terms of the proposed warrantors, the issue for them to look out for is exactly the same. Can they identify those warrantors, and can they keep records about them? When we're talking about long-term protection and the potential for claims several years after completion of a project, the risk for beneficiaries is really, will the warrantor still exist? What kind of succession is there? Or does this value, has this value been nullified by the fact that the warrantor no longer exists? That's something which is quite difficult for beneficiaries to keep track of